do? And welcome to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your trusted source for Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Kurt Steele. On today's show, we recap the Lions' comeback victory over the Chiefs in preseason. Do us a favor, like the video and share it with other Lions fans like yourself. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 2,000 subscribers, and we're currently sitting at $17.99. So be a part of the Boss Up family and hit that subscribe button. Now it's time to bring in my co-host. First up is our resident defensive line coach, executive chef, and heavyweight champion, the Wolverine. Who?
Hey, I take that back. I didn't want to do the stab. I kind of want to hit the C-walk on that real quick. Like, no, Coach Mike Jones, what's going on, Lion fans?
Man, and now it's the coolest brother in Yaktown. Don't believe me? Ask your auntie. LL Cool Torrance, what's going on, my guy?
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday.
Now, if you don't know how we get down on our channel, this is what we do. We look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up. If we disagree, we say they are balled on. And we give our take on why we agree or disagree. Now it's time to take a look at the topics of today. And it's all about the preseason game versus the Chiefs. How the Lions offense looked versus Kansas City. And what happened on defense versus the Chiefs. And how the special teams played in Kansas City. First up is my man, LL Cool Turn, to talk about what happened on the offensive side of the ball. LL, what you got, my man?
All right, I guess we could say it's a much better offensive game this week against the Kansas City Chiefs than it was last week against the New York Giants. I believe we only scored 3 points last week. This time we put up 24 points. So, and we were able to pull out that victory. Just a quick overview of some numbers, I guess. Total yards, we had 459 yards, 74 total plays, 6.2 yards per play, 13 total drives. 342 total yards. That's between Hendon Hooker and Nate Sudfeld. 2 fumbles lost and a pick. So some things to clean up. But as we see right there, what I want to focus in on is some shining or some bright spots that we had. Number one that I want to speak about is Mr. Isaiah Williams. He started the game with that fumble. I believe he was the one that fumbled our opening kickoff. Gave the ball right on.
That was Calhoun.
Really? Oh, well, never mind. Sorry for putting that on you, Mr. Yeah, because it was 80. Zay was 83, so you're right. My apologies. It was not him. But he ended up having a real good game he ended up having a real good game for the Lions, and he came through with 6 receptions for 71 yards. Didn't get a touchdown, but made some really, really big key plays. And he did have a later in the game, I believe, was either a kickoff or a punt return. He had a return for us, a really big return. Number 2 up there, of course, for the second week in a row is Sione Vaki. So some people believe that this gentleman is pushing for Craig Reynolds' spot. Some people believe, close to the Lions, that his spot is cemented as running back 4, and he's not going to move anywhere because they love Craig Reynolds, and Craig Reynolds' spot is what it is. But Sione Vaki looked real good. He showed some of the things that I had heard about in camp, just that he's a natural pass catcher, things like that. He had 4 receptions for 60 yards, and including the long one for 20 yards. So, he made a couple big plays there as well. But this is the second week in a row for that young man. He's a rookie. We got him in the 3rd round or 4th round, I believe. 4th or 5th round. I'm not don't remember at the moment, but sorry about that. And of course, everybody's friend. My dog. I don't want to call him Hennessy, or I don't want to make a reference to Hennessy, but that man Hendon Hooker, man. He was the Lions posted him as offensive player of the week or player of the week. So I'm not sure if he was like the national player of the week or anything like that. He was just our player of the week. But he went 12 or 15 for 150 yards, no passing touchdowns. But they were in the red zone, and it was a play. Things were breaking down. He had some time, and he just decided to go ahead and take off and score that rushing touchdown. So he showed some improvement as well. Because last week I said, all right, cool, you showed us that you can run. Because that's what it seemed like. He just wanted to run and run and run. He wasn't really trying to do too much as far as throwing it. He was missing wide open people sometimes. But this week he looked much better in that department. like I said, and when the play actually broke down, when they actually called for him to run, like if he would have stayed, he would have got sacked. If he would have stayed for a half second later, he would have got sacked. But he took off right in the nick of time and scored that rushing touchdown. So those are the three. I guess the point that we're going to talk about is that the Lions looked much better this week. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. Looking at what happened on the offensive side of the ball, I just want to say, like, for those 3 points that you made, and the offense looked a lot better versus the Chiefs. It wasn't perfect, but better. This second and third string players, I have to agree, were a lot better versus the Chiefs. Isaiah Williams was all over the place, man. It's going to be hard to keep that guy off the roster, even though his primary role, and Dan Campbell talked about this, is the slot receiver. And you have St. Brown and Khalif Raymond ahead of him. But his ability as a kick returner and punt returner, it was a punt return he had, and I'll talk about that later when we talk about special teams, will help him make the team, definitely. The more I watch Vaki, man, the more I like that guy. Dude was like Williams. He was all over the place, man, making plays, running the ball, catching the ball out of the backfield. I can see why he did so many workouts at his pro day to showcase his abilities. Catching the ball out of the backfield, his shiftiness makes him a lock at RB4. Like you said, LL is going to be a coin flip for him and Reynolds at 3 or 4. I think he's 4. Like you said, it's going to be hard to get Reynolds off of that 3 spot because the coaching staff loves him, man. And he does his own thing. Dude had one rush for 5 yards, but 5 yards average for a carry is good for a running back. And last but not least, definitely Hendon Hooker played his way to me into the backup role again. He did it last week, but he just made it even better this week. You said it. Like you said, LL, he used his arms and his legs to move the ball this week. Last week, he was just primarily running the ball. 12 of 15 passes. 12 of 15 for 150 yards and that rushing touchdown made him an easy choice he was the offensive player of the game for the Lions. I think he was just a player of the game. The offense had a better flow with him behind center. Sudfeld played better, but not to the level of Hendon Hooker. I think he completed Sudfeld like 50% of his passes. So, nothing to write home about. Had a nice touchdown to Caden Davis, but at the end of the day, Hendon Hooker just outplayed him. I mean, that just is what it is. I mean, Hendon Hooker was the player of the game for a reason, leading those drives. And one thing about Vaki, he was essential to the 2 scoring drives at the end of each half. He was a key piece to both of those drives to end the game and to end that first half where they scored on both of those drives. Vaki is doing his thing, man. What can you say about the young man? He's a special guy. You can see why the Lions drafted him and just was like, hey, you're going to play wherever we need you. So I understand what Brad Holmes did, and he's just a special young player. So I like him. He can play all over the field. And I want to see him on the defense, just to see him playing 2 ways, just to see if he can do it. All right, what you got, Coach Jones, on the offensive side?
Well, Isaiah Williams is gonna have to make the squad. They're gonna have to find some way to have him on the squad. Maybe he's a kick returner, Khalif is a punt returner, or something. Because Jared Goff likes those little slot receivers. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. He kind of he likes those guys, man. That can hit those slant routes and those deep out routes and stuff like that, man. So but yeah, Isaiah Williams got to make the roster, man. I got to boss up on that right there, man. That guy is good, man. There's a reason why he was the second leading receiver in the Big Ten. The guy he just has a knack for getting open, and he's sure-handed. Sione Vaki, man, that dude, man, I understand Craig Reynolds is the favorite, but you can't play favorites when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. So, Craig Reynolds is gonna have to. I think Reynolds will make the team, but he might get leapfrog in his RB3. Although it's kind of tough to say that because Reynolds is a power back with speed, so it's he that hammer it in, but that's David Montgomery as well. So I think, man, that's I guess we do got 2 good backups because Sione Vaki can do a little bit of what Jahmyr Gibbs can do, and Kirk Reynolds can do a little bit of what David Montgomery can do. So, I think we got our RB 1, 2, 3, and 4. But you know what? Before I get on this Hendon Hooker train, I want to give a shout out to Nate Sudfeld. Because I know I was hard on my man last week. He looked better this game. He made some throws, and he made a scramble. He hit Caden Davis for 61 yards. Well, Caden Davis ran the rest of the way. After about 15 yards, he ran the rest of the way. But Sudfeld looked a little more comfortable. He didn't look so. He didn't look like he was like flustered as much. And you probably showed him the tape, and he probably looked at it like, I know I did not just look like that on national TV in front of everybody. But yeah, Hendon Hooker, man, that's you like I said, you start a guy at the bottom, but after a while, you can't make him you can't keep him there. He earned that QB2 spot, and in this last preseason game, I gotta see him at QB2. I gotta see him start the game. If Goff don't get no reps, Hendon Hooker has to start the game against the twos or maybe some ones that need to get some time. So
I agree. Yeah. Shout out to Nate Sudfeld, man, because we always talking bad about him, but he played much better this time. He still threw a pick, but he played a lot better this week.
Yeah, nice pick right to the defender. DPJ was not open at all. And one thing I would say about Hendon Hooker, he listened to his mama because he showed slide. He showed did that slide when he needed it. He got down. So definitely, hey, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. Drop us a comment in the comment section. All of those things will help us get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. If we don't get back to you and reply right away, don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and comment on your comment to make sure that you are being held, like you're being heard right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. Now it's time to take it over to the defensive side of the ball because, we got to talk about defense with our defensive coach. What you got there, Coach Jones?
You know what? And I'm not even going to be as hard on the defense as y'all think I might be. For instance, Patrick Mahomes only engineered 2 field goals against Kendall Vildor and Khalil Dorsey. So as much as that whole, all Xavier Worthy, we got Rice, Travis Kelce, all that. Kendall Vildor, Khalil Dorsey held you to 6 points. Now, Meek Robertson did play, if he did play, but our starting corners, they did not play, and you couldn't get in the end zone. So, and that's my dad. Because my dad, I'm going to tell you what, my dad called me, you see that behind the back pass, man, Patrick Mahomes in mid-season form. Man, you don't get out of here, man. And that's from Michael Jones. I'm Mike Jones. That's Michael Jones who called me. I'm talking all that mess, man. But yeah, their defense only gave up 2 field goals to the most high octane offense. Well, you can say the Dolphins maybe, but the most high octane offense in the NFL, and they only gave it up, and those are our backups. So I'm not even stressing about that. And we had backup linebackers. Mitchell Gould, Reeves Maven was on the field the whole time, so I ain't even sweating that, man. Moving on, man. Matthew Betts, my man. Okay, CFL. What's up? Matthew Betts, man, he had a sack and a few pressures, and Matthew Betts showed some flashes. He did show some good things. There was a few bad things that he showed, but he's a speed rusher. A lot of us didn't really know what category Matthew Betts fit in, but he's a speed rusher because on that sack, he did a jab outside step, and then he did the chop step coming on the inside, man, and that's a speed rusher's thing. Power rushers don't jab step to the outside and then chop you and do the chop step on the inside. So he's a speed rusher. Only thing I'll say about him is he does lack in the power rushing ability because he just can't bull rush a tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of guys who can kind of off their quickness, they still have the upper body strength to kind of push the tackle off, and he just don't have that as of yet. So that's one of his downfalls. But also, you know, you look at James Houston. James Houston can't play off the ball linebacker. So, you know, so they both got their positives and negatives. But Matthew Betts showed flashes, and I think he has a chance to make that squad. I know a lot of us is like practice squad before the season, but that right there, you put your best guys in their best spots. And I know they want guys to be multifaceted, but if you can rush the quarterback, then let the man rush the quarterback. Now, there's two things that also there's two players that I want to point out. One, Mitchell Agude. I think he did a good job, man. He is on the he's one of those hinge guys who can make this 53 roster. And as of right now, I got him on the ends making the roster, man. He played that I think he played the same linebacker role, man. So and he played pretty good, instinctive, and he got there and he filled that position. Now, another guy I want to talk about that it really surprised me that I even seen him out there this late, and that was Josh Pascal. It was like the mid fourth quarter, and Pascal was out there, and I don't know if that was because he's fallen on the depth chart because Matthew Betts was in there before him, so I don't really know what that's about, or maybe they just want to get him a little bit of work in, but that's not a good sign. When you out there making plays in the middle of the fourth quarter in a preseason game, that's not a good sign. So he might be on the edge, on the fringe, man. But that those are my takes from the defense. And also, Uku, he also had another solid game. Wasn't as good as last game, but he had another solid game. So yeah, those are my takes from the defense. Do y'all agree with that? Boss up? Is that the ball on? You know what it is? Let me hear something.
All right, definitely boss up on those takes for the defense, man. And I'll give you my reason, man. Because their defensive second string defense played better. They gave up some big passing plays to Mahomes and company, like you said, but they stepped up and they stopped them from getting it into end zone. That behind the back pass was disrespectful. But it was fun to watch. I will say it was definitely disrespectful. Now, if AG can get the backups to play that well versus the ones of the Chiefs, I'm looking forward to seeing what the starters will do week 1 versus the LA Rams. Now, looking at Matthew Betts, I watch a lot of Canadian football. I do, because of the fact of that lull in between the spring football leagues and then the NFL. So I do watch a lot of CFL football because it starts in that summertime. And that's the Betts I remember from last season. He was getting pressure on the quarterbacks. I had that big sack versus Carson Wentz. I have to disagree with you on one thing. I would say it's balled on that he makes the roster. I think he's still a practice squad guy. With AG saying that they're done playing James Houston at Sam linebacker and just going to let him be an edge, means that it's going to be hard for Betts to make the roster. I just think so. They've already locked in James Houston. Betts is going to be a guy who's a friends guy, and I think that it's going to be hard for him to make the roster because they already have a quote-unquote pass rush specialist. So those are my takes on the defense, man.
I don't know what happened, but yeah, my takes about the defense is I believe that Matthew Betts will make the squad. I think that a few players out there look real good, and I keep my comments short with Coach Mike when he was talking about Josh Pascal being out there late. I did notice that as well because I saw him out there on Betts' sack. So I watched that play a couple times. I want to see him. That's how you say, like, he did the outside step and came back in. I don't know if you've seen that. Like, a lot of the pass, like, they do that. Like, they do almost like a Euro step type of deal. And you've seen, like, some players what's his name? Myles Garrett, stand up, like, when they about to snap the ball, he's standing up over the center, over whoever guy he about to, rush. He acting like he's dribbling the ball so he can, go out there and do that. So I noticed that about, I said all that to say I noticed that Pascal was out there that late as well. One thing, though, the only question I would ask, and I don't know if you know the answer or if anybody out there would know the answer because I didn't pay attention that well, but was he out there to play inside? Because he was playing inside on that play. It was him and Wingo inside. And I forget who the other guy was outside, but so maybe that's what, I don't know. But yeah, that's a good question to ask. I don't know what to do. Where's Kurt? Is Kurt here, or what should we do?
Yeah, I'm here, man. That's
There
stop
we
playing
go.
with me. Hey, I'm here. I just want to give you your spotlight, man. I will say this. Yeah, I think that they were just kind of working some things out, kind of give some guys some rep at some different positions. So I think that's probably why they were in there so late, kind of just trying something, because I think Wingo and Pascal on the roster regardless. I don't think those guys are on the Friends. I think they're going to be on the roster. One guy we didn't talk about, like you mentioned him real quick in passing, Kendall Vildor. I think he solidified his spot on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he did, because I was talking about him in the as far as players I was watching for when I looked at the pregame, and he definitely stepped up and he made his way. I think he played his way onto the roster. As far as that down on the depth chart, as far as cornerbacks are concerned.
Yeah, that was a good open field tackle in the first drive when he went and tackled I think it was the receiver or the running back in the flats, because he was manned up
on the screen. I think it was a wide receiver on a screen pass.
Okay.
I think it was Rice.
Yeah. That was a good open field tackle, man. That's what they need from press man corner. So.
And he just played well in coverage too. I just think he just had an overall good game. Hey, like the video, share the video, and comment on this doggone video, man. All of these things help us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. Be a part of the Boss Up family. Hit that subscribe button, man. And thank you for checking us out right here on the Boss Up All Out podcast. Last thing we need to talk about today is the special teams, man. We got LL back in the building. All right. The special teams, because we got to talk about the special teams because they were special. I mean, Jake Bates showed why the Lions have not brought in another kicker this offseason, even though he missed his only extra point attempt. He scored half of the Lions' points on Saturday. He went 4 from 4 on field goals, including that bomb from 55 yards. He easily made the game winner from 53 yards as time expired. Now, here's what some people miss. Dan Campbell showed faith in him by setting him up for that field goal at the end of the game and not trying to score a touchdown. He set it up for a game-winning field goal, and Bates showed that he can handle that end-of-game pressure. Right now, Bates is the Lions kicker. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. Switching to my man Foxy, Jack Fox punted the ball well as he did. He does that all the time. Not a surprise, but the Chiefs had a new punter, the guy that got in a little bit of trouble in college to end up being unfounded, Matt Arisia. He was in there just booming 60-yard punts. So Foxy said, "Hold my beer, young fella," and boomed a towering 71-yard punt. He was like, man, he ain't finna outdo me, man. Foxy will continue to be a weapon for Dave Phipp. I like Foxy. He's one of the best punters in the NFL. And then lastly, Tom Kennedy had the best kick return of the day of 27 yards under the new rules. Now, Dan Campbell said he and Phipp are working on both sides of the kick return of this new rule, because the Lions gave us some big returns on kickoffs. I can't say that they didn't, because they did. I was like, man, what the hell are they doing? However, most of the guys playing on those teams were backups. So they won't be on the regular roster, the regular season roster. So it'll be different. And Isaiah Williams, man, he had some nice punt returns, but he had the longest one of the day for the Detroit Lions of 20 yards. That's what you talk about, LL, when you talk about Isaiah Williams on the return. Nice punt return for 20 yards. He's proven his work on special teams. Again, it's going to be hard for the Lions to keep that young fella off the roster. I'm going to have to say, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing for the special teams. Dave Phipps is probably the best special team coordinator in the league. These kids are going to have to work out some issues. I'm sorry, with the new kickoff rule. Every team's kind of like going through the motions, as far as not saying going through the motions, going through some ups and downs with the new kickoff rules, because it's new and they have to work out some issues with that. Now, right now, if you kick the ball and it's a touchback, it's to the 30. It was to the 35. They're talking about moving it back to the 35 again if teams just start kicking the ball out of the end zone and say, hey, we'll just give it up on the 30. But I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. But I believe that Dave Phipp and company will definitely have the special teams working when it comes to the regular season. So, Coach Jones, what you got on the special teams, my guy?
Man, Jake Bates, man, shout out to that guy, man. Man, he made a couple of 50+ yarders, and yeah, I mean, I'm confident in Jake Bates, man. I think he might have his ups and downs during the season, but for a guy who hasn't been a kicker for very long, man, and do you see Jake Bates' face when he kicked them kicks? You know, some kickers be kicking it, and it's like it just be the swinging their leg. Jake Bates he be like, boom. He be looking serious as hell when he be kicking that ball, man. But yeah, Jake Bates, man, I like the guy, man, and I know we talked about him all off season. We was like, sign him. He made a 64-yard field goal, and people thought it was like, man, that's the USFL. Nah, man, Jake Bates is for real, and he gonna be on this team, man. I believe he gonna make some clutch kicks for us, man. You know, just Foxy just being Foxy. So, you know, ain't nothing to really say about that, man. He just doing his thing, man. He ain't gonna let nobody outshine him. And I just hope that the punt and kickoff return, because a lot of guys weren't playing their lanes. And I just hope that gets corrected. I mean, I know that get corrected on film on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it is that they watch film, man. But that has to be corrected ASAP, because we can't give up kick returns and punt returns that almost end up on the other side of the field, man. So that definitely, you got to stay in your lanes, man, and get out them blocks, man.
All right, what you got, LL, on talking about special teams?
Right. Well, who'd you say it was the first time around? The gentleman who fumbled the kickoff.
Calhoun.
Yeah, Calhoun. I guess because I was saying like, dang, they just trying anybody out, because that's when we start seeing everybody else back there. Like you said, Tom Kennedy got a shot on the kickoff. You know, we got to see Isaiah Williams with the punt. So, you know, it just gave some. Maybe that was the plan all along, was to give them, a shot, or just try guys out in the back, or in the return game. But we ended up getting to see a couple of other guys. So shout out to Dave Phipp. I'm certain he'll get it figured out. Everybody's struggling. Not saying that that's okay that we're struggling, but I do believe that it will be much better once the regular season. And the more that we get to see some of these, with the dynamic kickoffs, or what everything that they're calling it. And just a quick moment about that kickoff. I'm so sick and tired. I know they are as well, but every single game and every single announcer, that's how I know when the game is going to start. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, has it started yet? Is it about to start off? Because they're talking about the goddamn dynamic kickoff, and they all say the same stuff. So I'm certain they all got the same email and all that stuff. So I know it's gonna stop soon, hopefully, but I'm sick and tired of that. But and then of course, shout out to Foxy Mane and Jake Bates. Yes, he will be the Lions kicker. Right now, I guess, because we ain't got nobody else. But I'm interested to see how is this going to change Dan Campbell's decision making. Like, I personally, I like the aggressiveness. Yeah, some of the times we be like, dang, I wish we would have got that, but I'm okay with that. But maybe this will change some of it. Like, maybe some of the ones where we didn't get it, or where it's like, the feeling is a little stronger of, oh no, please don't go for it here. We don't got to do that because we got a kicker that he rely on. So we'll see about that.
Definitely. Hey, that's our show for today, man. Thank you for watching. Again, like the video, share it with other Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. Subscribe to the channel and drop us a comment on this video, man, and we will respond to you. All of those things help us with that YouTube algorithm, and we'll get this content to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. Now it's time for parting shots for today's show. Thank you for starting your week with us. LL Cool Toys, give us your parting shots for today.
Shout out to you guys as well. Shout out to my teammates here, Big Dog Kurt and Big Dog Mike, for just getting up early and doing this here. Just shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the fans. I come in and look at the comments and comment, reply to them and watch the shows back and stuff like that. So thank y'all for for just watching everything. We had almost at 2,000, so go ahead and help us get the rest of the way to 2,000 and beyond if you feel like it.
Right on.
Right on. What
I
you got?
just want to say I made it, y'all. I made it. I made it through work from 6 to 2:30, and I made it through 2 days from 3:30 to 9. I made it. It's over. Thank you, Jesus, sweet Lord. I love my team. I love the coaches and everything like that. But man, that's a grind, bro. And it's a Monday, so it's gonna be a better Monday because my day is not gonna be that long. So yeah, man, have a good Monday.
All right, thank you guys for checking us out right here on the on the Boss Up All Out podcast, man. Here with my guys, man. We've been grinding for a while, going back to Detroit Lions on a Proud Day, man. We miss you, Jim, man. We love you, brother, man, and we wouldn't be doing this without our brother Jim, man. So he got us together. But for me, thank you for checking us out, man. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all the love and support that you guys are giving us right here on the Boss Up All Out podcast. Do your man Kurt Steele a favor. Whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man, LL Cool Torrance and Coach Mike Jones, this is Kurt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.